Do I have all quizzes? Okay. You have one more minute. Well, while they finish that up, I can do something different. All right, let's turn page 11. Let's look at page 11, okay? Page 11. And let's look at these first two right here. Piecewise. Today I'm going to do a lot of clarification because I think some of you left confused yesterday. So we're not learning anything new today. We're just doing a lot of clarifying today. All right. These are known as one-sided because you're looking at one side. And you know, Mr. Hester has been calling them overall. Well, there's a proper term for this. It's called two-sided. So we're going to just go with one-sided and two-sided. Okay. So if you see this little plus or minus after the numerical value, then that's one-sided. If not, that's two-sided. That means you need to look at both sides. Okay. So one-sided and two-sided. I would do my one-sided first because my one-sided would help me determine my two-sided, wouldn't it? So if I limit as x approaches 1 from the right side, you're approaching from the right side. That means you're coming from this side. The numbers is the first order though. Those are the numbers to the right, isn't it? Do y'all see? So negative 2, do direct substitution. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is what? 0. Okay? Always try direct substitution first. Then from the left, I will plug that in. 2 times 1 is 2, minus 2 is 0. Did I get the same thing? So my two-sided would be 0. Number 30. The limit as x approaches negative 2 from the right side. This represents the numbers to the right of negative 2, greater than. I plug negative 2 in. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2. From the left, that represents the numbers to the left. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1 plus 3 is 2. Did I get the same value? So my two-sided is what? 2. Number 31. This should have been negative 3s down here, guys. I'm sorry. It said positive 3. So let's change that to negative 3s. Should have been negative 3s. Okay. So the limit as x approaches negative 3 from the right. This represents here. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Plus 7 is 1. To the left, a negative 3 would make it a positive 3. Minus 2 is 1. So my overall is 1. Let's really focus on 32. Make sure you better understand this. This part of the piecewise is for the numbers not equal to 1. This is for x equals 1. But look here. I want the limits x approaches 1 from the right. From the right. Now, if I'm approaching it from the right, will my number be 1 or would it be the other numbers? So which one would you plug in? The top or bottom? Top. Plug 1 in. That's going to be 1 squared is 1. Negative 1 plus 4 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. Okay? From the left, I would plug in the same one. My overall is 1. You said, Mr. but x equals 1. I would have only used that bottom if I said, what is f of 1, wouldn't I? Equals 5. But for the part of the limit, those are the numbers approaching it. So I would have used that there. Does that make sense? Are we good on that? Brennan, we good? Okay. We're going to practice some more today. When? Next week? On the big quiz and the test? Yes. Oh, that's going to be on there. All right. Now, let's look at how nice I was with your quiz here. Miss Hopper convinced me just to run this and get that. All right. F of negative 2. I want to know the actual value if my x is negative 2. Well, I choose this one, 3, not that one. Now, my limit is approaching that, but my function is approaching that, but it's actually 3. The limit as x approaches negative 2 from the right. As I'm coming from the right, the values on the right is approaching 1. Okay? The overall limit as x goes to negative 2, that means you have to look at both the right and the left, and it's approaching 1. Now, the limit as x approaches -1 from the right. Coming this way from the right, it approaches 0. From the left, it approaches 0. So the overall two-sided limit is equal to 0 as well. The limit as x goes to 1 from the right side, I'm going from the right side, it's approaching 1. From the left side, it's approaching 2. So the two-sided limit does not exist because those are two different values. Number 10, f of 3, I go to 3. It does not exist. You can put undefined or does not exist. Is that your question? Okay. The limit as x approaches 3 from the right, as I go to the right, it's approaching 5. From the left, it's approaching 5. Number 13, so since both of those approaching 5, the two-sided limit is 5. Now, I'm not going to count 14 wrong if you got that wrong on the quiz, because we didn't discuss that, but I just want to see what you can do. The limit as x goes to -4 from the right. What is occurring at -4? What type of discontinuity is that? That's an asymptote there. So if I'm coming from the right, this thing keeps going and going. It's going to where? Infinity. We're going to talk more about that next week. That's infinity. Cancel 15 out. That's what we're learning next week. 16, f of 1. F of 1, you want to know the actual value, not the limit. That is 1. 17, as x goes to -3, two-sided, so I'm looking at right and left. It's both going to 1. And number 18, f of -4. I won't count that wrong because you might not know what to put. Is there any kind of dot there, or what is present at -4? So what would there be a value for that? No, that does not exist. Does not exist. Are there any questions on that? Do you feel good about your quiz? I need a hand signal. Good. Okay, now what we're doing the rest of the day, because I need to clarify some stuff. We're going to be just reviewing what we learned all week, okay? I want you to just get out a sheet of paper. It don't matter what the paper is. We're just going to do the drills, okay? We're just going to learn how, because when you get your test next Thursday, it's going to be all the limits on one page. All mixed up. You got to determine, what do I do? That or no rule. Okay. Now we're going to do this like Steve. You're going to have a minute of problem. So here we go. Number 1. This is fast math. Now we're going to do the first couple together so you get the point of it, okay? Let's look at number 1. I have the limit as x approaches 2. What's the first thing you need to do? Let's just talk right now. Let's talk through the first few. Direct substitution. That's what you do on every one of them. I plug 2 in. 2 squared is what? 4 minus 4 is what? Can I do direct substitution? No, then I probably need to try to use one of my toolkit strategies. So I got rationalizing, I got factoring, and I got find a common denominator. If none of those work, then that's when we use what we learned yesterday, okay? What we used yesterday was, remember, you had to pick a number to both of them and see what infinity they were going to. That's your last resort. But you should use what we learned first to see if that will work, and then move on to what we learned yesterday. Does everybody understand? So let's do this problem. We're going to do what? Factor. Y'all do it and see what you get. How many terms are there? You're going to do what? Group. Okay. You just made an artery in my neck harden. Ooh, there's a lot of factor in this problem, wasn't it? What did you get your final answer? 4, because I get down here to this last step here, I had different squares cancel out, and then at the end apply direct substitution. 2 plus 2 is 4. Yes?
Would you not also factor out the 2x minus 4 and just take that out before factoring the bottom?
What now, buddy?
Because when you factor the top, you get x squared minus 4 and x plus 2.
And then Oh, you could have done that. That's fine. That's fine.
You cancel those out.
You could have. All right, we'll go on the first one. Let's look at number 2. Situation here. All right. First thing I do is apply direct substitution. I apply direct substitution. I put a negative 2 plus 1. Does that work? Can I do that? So I just do direct substitution on this one. I don't even care about the right side or left side. I'm just doing direct substitution. Negative 2 plus 5 is what? 3. Negative 2 plus 1 is? Negative 2 plus 1 is? So you got 3 divided by negative 1, which is just what? Do you see how you just analyze that? Are there any questions on that one? All right, let's look at this piecewise. We want the limit as x approaches 4. Is this one side or two sided? So we got to keep in mind both sides, okay? Now piecewise, you're going to have to check both pieces, okay? So I plugged 4, direct substitution. 4 minus 4 is what? 0. Square root of 0 is 0. So it's approaching 0 on the right side. On the left side, negative 2 times 4 is what? Negative 2 times 4 is? Negative 8. 8 gives you also what? So both of them are approaching what value? 0. So your limit is what? 0. Does that make sense? On a piecewise, you got to check both the left and the right. All right, number 4 here. First thing I'm going to try is what? Direct substitution. Does it work? You can look at it. Does it work? No, you get 0 on the denominator. All right, so what's going to be your strategy? Factor down and see what you get. Like the little index card activity. Say something. I'm just picking with you. Alright. What y'all get on number 4? What is it? Negative 1/12. Negative 1/12. I'm going to skip number 5 because we already did one like that. Let's go to this number 6 card. Okay, let's look at this one. Alright. If I plug 3 in, guys, what do you get? 0. Can I factor? Can I rationalize? Can I find a common denominator? So all that's out of the way. This is an example. Okay, is this one sided or two sided? That means I'm gonna check both sides. If you look at this, guys, what type of discontinuity is it going to be? Asymptote. So you know it's going to go to some infinity somewhere. So when you have this case, when you can't do anything, and it's two-sided. Now if it was one-sided, you just got to check that one side. But two-sided, that means you got to pick a number to the left and to the right and see what sign the value is. So watch this, what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to go to, what's the number to the left of it? 2. When I do that, I get 2 over a negative 1, which is a positive 2, isn't it? That's not my answer. But, what is it, positive or negative? That means that's going to infinity, isn't it? Now I'm going to plug 4 in. That gives me negative 2 over 1, which is a negative 2. That means that side's going to what? Negative infinity. So I got one going to positive, one going to negative. So what's my overall limit? Does not exist. Does not exist. So if none of those other strategies work, you got to start looking to the left and to the right and observing what's going on. Does that make sense? Okay, let's look at number 7 here. I'll take 1 in there. Directly substitute. What does that give me? 0. Can I factor? Can I rationalize? Can I find a common denominator? So I'm to that last resort. Now is this one-sided or two-sided? So I only need to look at what side? To the right. So what's to the right of 1? 2. So I'm going to plug 2 in. 2 minus 3 is what? Negative 1. 2 minus 1 is what? Negative divided by positive is a what? So it's going to what infinity? That's your answer. Do you see how all this is coming together now? Okay. So I plugged in 2 here. So 2 minus 3 is negative 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So I got negative 1 divided by 1. That gives me a negative value. That means it's going to negative infinity. Does that make sense, buddy? This is quick. Can I do direct substitution?
No.
What's your answer? Thank you.
Wait, what's the answer to that?
7. Just 7. Number 9. I take 2. I plug it in. What's that give me? Gives me 0 in the denominator. Can I factor? Can I rationalize? Can I find a common denominator? No. So I go look, is it one-sided or two-sided? I need to pick a value to what direction? Left. So I'm going to pick left to 2 is what? 1. 1 minus 2 is? Negative 1 squared is? 1 divided by 1 is a positive or negative value? So it's going to what infinity? There you go. Number 10. The limit as x goes to 0 of x minus 3 squared minus 9 over 2x. I take 0, plug it in. What do I get in the denominator?
0.
I get 0. So now I'm going to try to do something. I can't factor. I can't do a common denominator. I can't rationalize, but something's telling me I might need to try to FOIL that out, okay? That's not one of our main strategies, but I would try to FOIL that out and see what's going on here. So, x minus 3 squared be x squared minus 6x plus 9 minus 9 over 2x. Well, these cancel out. X squared minus 6x over 2x. I can factor an x out. And when I factor that x out, it's left with x minus 6 over 2. And then once I do direct substitution there, it works out. 0 minus 6 is negative 6. Divided by 2, my limit would be negative 3. My limit would be negative 3. The limit, is this one-sided or two-sided? One-sided. I take negative 4, plug it in. Negative 4 plus 4 is what? 0. Can I do any of my toolkit strategies? Back move! Can I do any of my toolkit strategies?
Yes. No.
Oh, you don't know? Oh, you don't know? Then you stand up so you can pay attention. Alright. Can I factor here? Look at the board. Can I factor here?
No.
Can I find a common denominator?
No.
Can I rationalize? No. So I'm going to pick a point to the right of negative 4. What's the right of negative 4? Negative 3. What's negative 3 plus 4? 1. Negative 6 divided by 1 is what? So it's going to what infinity? Does that make sense? Okay?
How many of these are we good?
I already did one like that.
As many as Mr. Hester's little heart desires at the moment. Okay.
The denominator's 0.
Because Mr. Hester wants you to be good at limits, okay? I tell y'all what, sit down. Not all wrong. I got one not look. I got one tell me how to do a job. I got one over talking. Here we go.
I was doing the
I know, you're good. All right, here we go. I'm just picked TJ. Dog solo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. X approaches 5. Okay. Like Zach said, which is correct, I'm going to factor that on the bottom, get x minus 5, x plus 5. The x minus 5s will do what?
Cancel.
So I got 1 over x plus 5. Can I do direct substitution in? So it'll be 1 over 10. Okay. I'm not going to have time for that one. Oh. X approaches 0. I got 0 plus sine of 0. What's sine of 0? What is sine of 0?
0
0. It's 0 plus 0.
0.
Thank you.
That's all, that's all.
I know, I'm proud of you. Did we just do this one?
No.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know.
Okay, watch this. Limit as x approaches negative 3. Plug it in. That gives me what?
0.
0. Can I factor?
No.
Can I rationalize? Can I find a common denominator? Is this one side or two sided? That means I can check both sides, the right and left. So let's plug in. To the left is negative 4. Negative 4 over negative 4 plus 3, that would be negative 1, wouldn't it? So negative divided by negative is what?
Positive.
So it's going to positive infinity on this side. I plug in negative 2. Negative 2 over negative 2 plus 3, that would be a negative divided by positive, which is a what? So I got negative infinity over here, positive here, so what's my overall limit? Okay, now I want you to be truthful. Did this exercise help you review everything and understand limits better?
Yes.
So you understand now, whatever I give you, you can think of it like that. Okay, so you got 33 through 40. We only got one more type of limit to talk about. Next week we're going to keep hammering these things. Hammering these things is what happens if your x is approaching infinity or negative infinity. See, I feel like now you're ready for a quiz that will be on Tuesday. Now these are probably all going to be the infinities, but you just need to approach them that way we did.
Can you make a review video for the exam? Oh, that'd be awesome. I would totally watch that.
If you will allow me to, I will do a video for your final note because I might not have time to do a full-out review in class, but I could do you a review of major points on the exam. Would you appreciate that, Zach?
Especially the last 5 problems.
Now we're going to do the 5 problems in class. I got to see y'all's facial expression, but I will.